Why one generation lived longer than the next. For the first time in modern history, something unexpected appeared in the data. A generation that lived shorter lives than their parents. Not because of war or famine, but despite more technology, more medicine, and more information than ever before. This reversal forced researchers to pause. Progress was supposed to move in one direction. Longer life, better health. Yet to understand why this mattered, we need to look beyond breakthroughs and examine the quiet shifts that reshape daily life. Because longevity is not lost all at once. It erodes slowly, across habits that feel harmless in isolation. The generation that lived longer grew up with fewer choices, fewer screens, fewer calories, fewer hours spent sitting still. Their lives were structured by necessity. Movement was built in. Meals were limited by availability. Social interaction happened face-to-face, not on demand. The generation that followed inherited abundance. Convenience replaced effort. Entertainment filled every pause. Work became more sedentary. Stress became constant rather than episodic. None of these changes felt dangerous at the time. Most felt like improvements. But the body records patterns, not intentions. Over decades, small differences accumulated. Metabolic strain increased. Sleep shortened. Recovery windows shrank. Chronic inflammation crept in quietly, long before symptoms appeared. What made this trend alarming was its subtlety. No single habit could be blamed. No dramatic collapse announced a shift. Longevity declined not through catastrophe, but through compression. The middle years grew heavier, leaving less resilience for old age. This was the opening signal, a warning that modern life, for all its advantages, might be trading long-term durability for short-term comfort. And once that trade begins, it is difficult to reverse. As researchers compared the two generations, the contrast sharpened. The older generation experienced stress in bursts, financial pressure, physical labor, uncertainty. But these stresses were followed by release. Rest was enforced by darkness. Work ended when the body gave out. Recovery was built into the rhythm of life. The younger generation lived under a different kind of strain. Not intense, but continuous. Notifications never stopped. Work followed them home. Meals stretched late into the night. Sleep became fragmented. The nervous system rarely powered down completely. This difference mattered more than any single behavior. Chronic low-level stress keeps repair mechanisms suppressed. Hormones remain elevated. Inflammation never fully resolves. Over time, the body shifts from maintenance to survival mode. Movement patterns also diverged. The older generation moved incidentally, walking, lifting, standing, bending throughout the day. The younger generation exercised deliberately, but briefly. Long hours of sitting erased many of those benefits. Social structure changed as well. Community once buffered hardship. Loneliness was rare. Problems were shared. In the newer generation, isolation increased. Support became digital. Stress became private. None of these shifts were dramatic on their own, but together, they reshaped biology. Aging began earlier. Decline accelerated faster once it started. Lifespan narrowed, even as medical interventions improved survival at the end. The data told a clear story. Longevity is not protected by technology alone. It is preserved by systems that allow recovery, connection, and physical engagement to remain constant across decades. And as these systems weakened, so did the biological advantages they quietly provided. The conflict becomes sharper when we look at expectations. The younger generation was promised more time, more freedom, more ease. But the structure of modern life demanded constant availability. Productivity stretched into every hour. Rest had to be earned, not assumed. This created a paradox. Comfort increased, but resilience declined. Convenience removed friction, but also removed training. Muscles weakened. Metabolic flexibility faded. The body lost its tolerance for disruption. Researchers noticed that many age-related conditions appeared earlier. Not more severe, just earlier. Hypertension, insulin resistance, cognitive fatigue. The curve shifted left. Aging began its descent sooner, Even if the endpoint remained distant, this early onset mattered. It compressed the middle decades. The years meant for vitality became years of management. Medication replaced adaptation. Intervention replaced prevention. Attempts to correct the trend often focus on optimization. More exercise, better diets, improved sleep hygiene. But these were layered on top of systems that continue to generate stress. The fixes treated symptoms, not structure. The deeper issue was environmental. Life had become more efficient, but less forgiving. Mistakes accumulated faster. Recovery windows closed sooner. The body was asked to perform constantly without the natural pauses it evolved to expect. The conflict, then, is not generational blame. It is systemic mismatch. Biology still operates on rhythms shaped by scarcity and effort. Modern life operates on abundance and speed. And until those rhythms are reconciled, longevity will remain vulnerable regardless of how advanced our tools become. The climax of this story is a realization that longevity did not disappear overnight. It was slowly crowded out, not by a single invention or habit, but by a way of living that left no room for recovery. The older generation did not live longer because they knew more. They lived longer because life demanded more from their bodies than allowed them to rest. Effort and recovery were inseparable. Stress arrived in waves, not as a constant background signal. The generation that followed inherited comfort without rhythm. The body was no longer trained by necessity. It was managed by intervention. And while medicine extended survival, it could not fully restore the resilience that had been quietly lost. The resolution is not nostalgia. It is awareness. Longevity is not protected by return to the past, but by rebuilding what the past enforced naturally. Movement woven into daily life. Boundaries around rest. Social structures that absorb stress before it becomes chronic. As modern life continues to accelerate, the lesson becomes harder to ignore. We cannot expect biology to thrive in systems that never pause. The middle years are not a buffer. They are the foundation. And sometimes, the smallest shift in perspective becomes the beginning of a new future.